Dear data enthusiasts, join us in another chapter of SkilloVilla's success stories. Meet Aniket, a BTech in IT graduate who embarked on a unique journey from engineering to management, fueled by the power of data. With a keen focus on a quality education, he chose SkilloVilla's path to master data analytics, not just tools. Discover how he transformed from a novice to a certified data analyst in this video.
Hey, hi Aniket.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good too, thank you. So, Aniket, first of all, thank you so much for doing this interview for us. We are really grateful for your time and efforts you are investing for this because it's gonna be roadmap for a lot of people how to be a data analyst and how they can build their career into data analytics industry, right? Before we deep dive into your online journey with SkilloVilla, let's first know about you. So, if you can just briefly walk us through your career, like what are you doing currently, and in your college, what have you done? What have you studied? How did you end up deciding that you want to choose data analytics as a career option?
So, I did my bachelor's in engineering in information technology. Post that, I wanted to get into the management domain because I had started working even before I could finish my undergrad. So, from that point of view, I always knew that this is a strategic domain and this is where I want to lead into. But I had no certainty about what I should be doing very specifically. So I went towards management. I enrolled myself for MBA. I did my MBA from a very prestigious institute, Symbiosis Pune. And after I did that, I did my MBA in marketing. And I slowly, while I was doing my MBA, I realized the importance of data analysis, right? It wasn't in those perfect terms that I understood it, but I understood it as a concept. And that's when I decided that this is what I want to explore in the future. Post that, I worked with organizations for some time. And then I decided that no, this is not going to take me to the right point where I want to reach in my career. So I decided I'm going to just keep that aside, focus on getting good quality education for now, and then start my career as a data analyst. And that's when I started doing a little digging. That's when I came across this concept, these certifications of data analytics. And I did some research about what people actually do when they are working as a data analyst in the industry. And that's when I realized that this is exactly where I want to be 1 year, 5 year, 10 years from now. And that's how I decided I want to enroll into this certification program.
Okay. So, how did you get to know about SkilloVilla? Did you research other platforms as well in order to get your certificate?
Oh, yeah. So, like I said, I wasn't working and studying. My idea was that I want to study completely thoroughly. If I'm going to be doing this certification, there are going to be hundreds and thousands of more certified data analysts like me. What's going to make me distinguish between me and them? I realized it's going to be skills and education. So, I decided I'm going to leave my job and I'm going to focus only on my education. So, I did a lot of research as to which institute is going to give me worth my time. And I came across SkilloVilla and I chose SkilloVilla primarily for one specific reason. So I spoke to around 4 people. I went through the website. The good thing is all 4 people and the website gave me the same answer to my question, which doesn't happen in other institutes. And what that answer was that we are not going to discuss tools. We are going to discuss problem solving using data. And that was something that hit my mind because I had other certifications where I could just get 35 certified tools under one certification. But what am I going to do with 35 certificates if I can't put them into use? So that's why I chose this particular platform to go ahead with it.
Okay. Let's talk about now your experience with SkilloVilla. So, how has your experience been so far?
It's been amazing. It's been what I had hoped for in the initial stages. So, in the very first session, Deepak Role explained how the system is going to work. He was very clear about how the education is going to happen, what all the institute is going to do for the students, what are the points that the students is supposed to be doing. And once these guidelines, once this baseline was established, then it was a natural process that followed, right? So in that particular terms, it was very good. It was everything that I had hoped for. In any point of time, we were not focusing on the tools or the platforms. We were more focused on problem solving. So I'll give you an example. The first session that Deepak had for us, at that point in time, we had around 2 weeks of LMS modules. And these modules, we were studying Excel. So obviously, I thought that live session is going to be on Excel. But that was not the point. The session was about understanding the P&L statement of a company and devising a investment plan for it. So all the things that we had learned in Excel, basic calculations, simplifications, till that point of time were used, but they were not something that was of primary importance. The primary importance was understanding the problem and solving the question. And this happened every step of the way. We learned SQL, we learned Excel, we learned Tableau, we learned Python. Nothing was of primary importance. It was just referred to as a tool. The importance was on solving questions. And that was what I hoped for while joining this course. And that is what I got.
Okay. That is also something that you are going to do in the industry as well, solving problems. And these tools like MS Excel and SQL is going to help you out. So the agenda was to give you a theoretical knowledge through the curriculum. You can learn about it. And these live sessions is designed in such a manner that you should understand how the actual problem is being solved in the industry using those particular tools.
Absolutely. That's what my point is.
Yeah.
The agenda of these sessions was so critically defined, not just one instructor, all the instructors, even instructors from the industry, people who are working in the industry, no one came to the live session with the agenda that we are going to learn SQL today. The agenda was simple. This is the problem. This is the solution. And we are going to use SQL to solve this problem. So SQL was merely a tool. Excel was merely a tool.
Right.
Tableau was merely a tool. But this entire idea was amazing. And one more thing that added to the experience is how in depth the entire thing went. From being someone who didn't know a lot about data analytics to being someone who now is a certified data analyst, I can understand that the vast gap that needs to be bridged. And from that point of view, I understand why all those concepts, why all those live sessions were important.
Right. Right now, what I see is people are running behind the tools. I mean, they're looking for what tools they're going to learn in any particular certification course. But actually, that should not be the primary concern. You can learn tools from anywhere, actually. But how to apply those tools is something that is a skill that you will develop throughout the course. And that is something that you should also primarily focus on.
I mean, there are YouTube videos to understand the tools. It's not that difficult to understand tools once you understand the concept. Understanding the concept is something that you need a teacher for.
Exactly. And that's the crux of your career. I mean, nobody is going to hire you based on what tools you know. They'll hire you based on you should have the knowledge how you can actually apply those tools and solve the real business problems out there. I'm happy that you correctly put this out in front of us, and it's very important that everyone should be aware of this. So Aniket, moving forward, what is the unique feature of the entire curriculum did you like the most? How it has benefited you so far?
The planning.
Okay.
The planning of the institute is something that I really admire. So let me be very honest to everyone who's going to listen to this. The institute is not very old, and I have gone through a lot of such brochures for institutes that are older than this institute, that are older than SkilloVilla. But like I said, I asked 4 different people from that particular institute 4 different questions, and I got 4 different answers. Here I got same answers from everyone. That means that the SkilloVilla people had something in place in terms of plan and strategy. Now, even a student can understand that. So when we first started, we thought that, how long is this going to go? How is this going to proceed? How long is this going to happen for? Time was an issue for us. What are going to be our learnings? What is important? What is not important? That was an issue for us. There were a lot of confusions in mind, but the plan from SkilloVilla's point of view was very simple. You have LMS, you focus on your LMS, then we'll take your live sessions, will help you implement those concepts, practically understand you how this thing works in the system, how this works in the larger picture, and you go back to the LMS and learn something more. We'll help you understand that more. So that was the first part that was taken care of, the learning part. Then comes the part where, for example, right now, I just got done with my resume building. I'm expecting some calls in the future. How is it going to be? The point is very clear. From the first day, Deepak told us that this is how the system is going to run. 1 month ago, we had another session, which was not with Deepak Role, which was with the placement team. And he said exactly the same thing that Deepak Role has told us 6 months ago. So this plan is very, very transparent and very rigid is the wrong word, but it's not flexible. There are no loopholes. It's a very strict plan and the institute is sticking to it. And that helps students because at one point of time, even I was thinking that this could have been done differently. That could have been done differently. Why 5 months? I could have completed in 3 months. But that's not the case. These things are there for a reason. The timeline is there for the reason. And you need to go through with it to understand the importance.
Right. So, see, in the market, as a marketing tactic, a lot of people say our course has been designed and built by so and so expert, so and so person from this particular industry. And we also say that, like, we have experts from MIT who have actually built this course and people who belong to industry and a big shot in the companies like Microsoft and Google. So it's not that we are saying, but it's actually being done and built by those people. Since they are from the industry, they know what is the requirement, what is the duration of the course you actually need in order to be a successful data analyst, right? So I'm really happy that you actually saying the right things that is important for someone to understand before enrolling for any course for that matter.
Yeah, right.
So you mentioned about the live sessions with the industry experts and you've also given a brief idea about that. Can you also put some points on how mentorship has played a role in your journey so far and what used to happen in those weekend live sessions that you have with the industry experts?
So the industry experts, like I said, focus more on getting the job done. They're working in the industry. Some academicians focus more on skills and knowledge and these strategic things. Industry experts are more focused on the tactical ideas. How can you get the problem solved? And that was what the situation was for us as well. Gladly, it was not there by just one or two industry experts. Like I said, it was something that was designed in the curriculum. So all the live sessions that we had, it was very particular that the agenda was to translate the knowledge into proper resource that we can use to solve the problem. So if I just know an Excel function, it's not gonna help me in any way. Maybe someone can ask me question, oh, do you know what a VLOOKUP is? And I can give them a 1-page long definition of it, but that's not gonna help me. How can I use it to solve a problem? And sometimes you don't even need VLOOKUP to solve a problem. I'm just taking VLOOKUP as an example, but you get the point, right? So sometimes when we are new, even when I was new to this, I would learn a tool, for example, VLOOKUP, and I would try to implement it in every solution, every problem. And then these experts would bring us back to the start. Oh, no. You're thinking from the tool point of view. Start thinking from the problem point of view. Do you really need this tool? If you don't, leave it. Like I gave you an example, P&L analysis and devising a plan for the investment did not require VLOOKUP, advanced function, Excel functions, nothing. It was simple calculation. We had to use our financial acumen. And if you don't know that, you can go and learn that. But you need to know what to implement. And that was the most important part about these live sessions. Like I said, not the tool. These experts kept us from diverging from our point of views. They kept us bringing back to the original point of view, which was how to solve this problem, right? What tools to use automatically comes in the course of the.
Exactly. Basically, it's like to summarize it, what things that you've learned theoretically, how you can apply it practically is something that you learn from these live sessions.
Exactly. And one more thing, like I said, students, I was a student myself. We usually have that urge to show off our newly learned tools and skills. So we start implementing those newly learned skills in every domain, every question, every challenge. But sometimes you have to think from a larger perspective. That is what industry experts will teach you. Sometimes you don't even need tools. Sometimes the answer is right there in front of you. A couple of sessions we had, and this is one unique feature about SkilloVilla. They have a module on problem solving using data. That's what the entire course is about, but a separate module for that only. So even the instructors were walking us through that domain. It wasn't about any tool in those specific questions. It was only about problem solving. So that was the really good point of live sessions.
Fantastic, Aniket. So, since you mentioned previously, before starting the course, you quit your job, right? And you wanted
Correct.
to give your time to your learning journey, basically. So, there are a lot of working professionals out there who are into this fix. If I leave my job, I was earning something, and if I leave that, I'm not sure if I'll be able to pursue this course. I do not know what's the future, if I'll be able to get a job again, how well I'm going to in this particular course. So there are a lot of questions that hovers anyone's mind. So I'm sure you must have also came across such questions. So how did you deal with that?
So there are 2 points to this answer. Number one is I could leave my job because I had someone who supported me. So my wife is a working professional and she helped me throughout this. She was working and that's why I could afford to leave a job. Had I not had the support that I actually had, I wouldn't have been able to. So I'm being very practical. It's not possible for someone to just leave the job and go ahead and focus on education because you just can't. You need to pay your bills. I had that luxury. That's why I could do it. Now, why did I do it? Why didn't I just work and manage education on the side? Because that doesn't happen. If you're working and then trying to learn on the side, I have seen a few people who can manage it exceptionally well. But I was someone who I knew that I don't want to land up in the average of the data analytics professionals. I wanted to be amongst the best so that I can get good opportunities. So from that point of view, I wanted to focus solely on my education and my learning so that I can actually get the knowledge that I was looking for. Second point is, if someone is in this confusion, should they leave their job or not? Point number one, like I already mentioned, practicality is the most important thing. If you can only then you think about leaving a job. But if you have to pay your bills and you don't have a backup, don't even think about it. It's okay. What you learn in 3 months, maybe it will take a week more, but with work, you can do it. It's not impossible. But somehow you have support like I had, and you actually can leave your job, then the number one thing you should think about is how well is the institute prepared to handle that. So I explained my situation to all the institutes that I was looking for to become a certified data analyst. And like I said, of all the plans that they recommended, the most concrete plan was recommended to by the SkilloVilla professional. And that's what got me all this idea that tools are not important. Even I was attracted to a certificate course where I had 35 plus. That was the marketing gimmick, right? 35 plus tools. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I would be more attractive in the industry if I have 35 tools in my resume. But then I spoke to someone else and they said, no, we offer 40 plus. And someone else, they offer, no, this is not like that. And I spoke to SkilloVilla professional and they were like, no, we only help you understand the basics because you cannot become a data analyst in 3 months or 6 months or 1 year. I'm like, okay, how many tools do you help? Oh, we can help you understand the tools. We'll help you get good at Tableau, SQL, Excel, Python. These are the basics of what you'll be doing. But professional certifications, you're gonna be a data analyst. So I said, no, but the other institute is offering me 35 plus certificates. And he said, okay, do you understand what a Tableau is? I said, no, I don't. Tableau is a visualization software. Do you know what a Power BI is? I said, no, it's a visualization software. If you can handle one thing, you can handle the other thing as well. It's about how you look at the problems. If you don't know how to visualize the data, what tool you use doesn't make a difference. So whoever wants to do this needs to know for sure. You need to be 100% sure that the institute that you're going to do this should be very concrete about their steps. If they are not sure, your career might go around in a limb. You'll not be sure of what to do next. I joined here because I got a very concrete plan that you do this step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And I'm still following that plan. So to anyone who wants to go through with this, just talk to the professionals. Make sure you have a very concrete plan. If you don't get a concrete plan, don't go through it.
Rightly said, it's your career decision after all, and it's important that you have all the answers of your questions, anything that you have in your mind. And it's important that every professional belonging to that company should be on the same track. And that also represents everyone is being aligned to one single goal, which is providing quality education to all the people out there and
Absolutely.
and building their career into the right place. And if you want to be like in top 1%, then it's both the sides actually. You also have to put in your efforts. You have to be consistent in completing your assignments and completing your milestones. And here we are definitely there to help you out.
Oh, definitely. What's the point of having really good instructors if you can't absorb that knowledge?
Exactly.
I mean, if you can't understand the basics of all these tools, all these sessions, all these problems, all these questionnaires, what's the so students' responsibilities are probably bigger than the instructors' responsibilities from my point of view.
Yeah.
I honestly feel that.
See, industry experts have all other things to do. They'll come, they'll take the session, give you the knowledge, and they'll go. Right. Now it's on you. What benefits you can take from that particular industry experts, and then after the live session, it's on you if you're applying it to your current problems that you are having and practicing it actually. So it's like that. So Aniket, let's go back to your journey. When you were going through your curriculum, doing your assignments, I'm sure you must have come across a lot of queries and doubts. So how do you used to get those queries resolved?
Resolving queries is not that difficult, right? You can simply Google your questions and 90% of your queries get resolved. The remaining 10% are probably the queries either you're not asking the right type of question, or you're not understanding the problem, or you're not understanding what's really going on and stuff like that. So resolving your queries while learning something is not that difficult. It has happened to us in engineering. It has happened to us in our masters. Here it was the same. So the institute has always been very supportive. So once you post a question, we have a channel, right, where we can post all our discussions, we can post our doubts, queries. Immediately it gets tagged to the curriculum team and they respond as soon as possible. So I'm sure a lot of institutes do that. But coming back to what you said earlier, I'll connect it to this one. When the entire institute is focused on something, it doesn't matter which department you're dealing with. So either you're dealing with the curriculum team, or you're dealing with the placement team, or you're dealing with the founder, or dealing with the sales guy, you hear the same thing, right? And from that point of view, we used to ask the doubt, the curriculum team would respond. But one thing that I saw is that a lot of times there were repetitive questions. One question that was already answered for, again, someone else asked the same questions, which mean that people were probably not paying attention on the channel or something like that. And then the answer wouldn't come very quickly and people would get upset. Oh, why didn't I get an answer? And I was not very sure about what was happening. Recently, we had a resume building session, and it was an entire module of 10 videos where we could understand how to build a resume step by step. But I did not watch the entire video series. I watched the introduction, and side by side I was making my resume. And then I had one doubt. I have projects, I have internships, but I have done projects in internships. Should I mention them separately? Should I mention them in the internship section? What should I do? And I mailed the team about it, the placement team. I did not get an answer. One day later, 2 days later, I did not get an answer. I thought, let's just get on with it. Maybe they're busy. And I went ahead and I watched the session, remaining videos, and the answer was right there in the videos. Probably that is why I did not get an answer. I then happened to have a second question. I mentioned the question. Within 15 minutes, I got an answer. I happened to have a third question. Within 15 minutes, I got an answer from the placement head regarding my resumes. Every time we have posted a genuine question, we have got an answer. Most of the times, answering your question to people who are very worried about how does your queries get resolved, in SkilloVilla, your queries will always get resolved, no matter how. So this is the direct answer for all those students. But if anyone is trying to enroll into certification programs, not just here, anywhere, please understand your role as a student is very valuable. It's not a buffet where you pick and choose some elements. Like I did, I went through 2 videos and then asked the query instead of going through the entire thing and then deciding whether to do this or not. You can't do that. So queries do get resolved very easily, but you need to do your due diligence as well.
Very well explained, Aniket. There are a lot of students questioning the same thing again and again. Without going through the entire curriculum, they're like, these videos will take time. I mean, let me just skip it because I know, and let me just go through the questions and everything. But that's not how it goes, right? There is a reason why there are those videos being made, put in efforts and prepared
Absolutely.
for you, so that you can have like a concrete knowledge of everything. Because if your time has also been invested and the other person who is answering the question, his or her time is also being invested, but we can be on the same ground and save both of their time, right? So if you are serious about it, you should go through the curriculum, and then after that you have the doubt, and obviously the team is there to answer those questions.
The team is really helpful, but student has to do his or her due. That's, I think, very important.
Great. As a final word, is there anything that you would recommend to all those data analytics and data science aspirants who wants to join SkilloVilla's career track and who wants to build their career into basically data analytics and data science industry, be it a working professional or a student?
So number one, if you want to do a certification in data analytics, you have to be very sure that it is up your domain, because there are certain skills that you learn with time and there are certain skills that you are gifted with. Critical problem solving attitude is one of those skills. I don't think that I was gifted with it, but you can learn it along the way. And that's what I did. I've scored good marks. That's beside the point. But yeah, I've learned it. And your mentors are there to help you. So you should know for sure that you don't want to go into data analytics because you want to do this. It should not be because someone recommended to you and it's a hot job and it's paying more. It should be because you actually want to do this. Because if you don't go in there for the right reason, then like most people in our batch, you fall off the track. Some people just stopped attending the session. Some people didn't submit their assignments on time. Obviously, the institute is not getting affected, but you are getting affected, because you got into it for a reason and now that reason is not attractive to you because you were in it for the wrong reason. So do your homework, do your due diligence, understand why you want to get enrolled. If you enroll into SkilloVilla, there are teachers, there are instructors who are always there to help you, but you have to do it. Teachers, instructors won't do on your behalf. You have to study. There would be 2-hour long sessions on weekends, so that 2 and 2, let's say 4 hours for every 7 days. What about the remaining 5 days? You'll have to do it. You'll have to get your assignments done. Forget about the learning part of the LMS. Even out of that, you have to go out there, Google stuff, Google what you have not understood. Probably there's something outside of what your instructor has taught. So all of that, you'll have to do it. If you are ready to do that, you can definitely and 100% be assured that the institute is there ready to help you 24/7, no questions asked.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Aniket, sharing this such an honest and insightful views on the curriculum, on your journey with SkilloVilla. So the things that you said are the right things and the exact things that everyone should know actually before enrolling yourself for any certification program for that matter. Upskilling has become a crucial part of everyone's career right now. So it's better you take a conscious call and just do not run into the crowd considering what other people are doing. So again, thank you so much, Aniket.
Thank you.
All the very best for your placements. I'm sure you're gonna crack it. If you need any kind of assistance, we are definitely here to help you out. We are just a call away.
Collaborate with the SkilloVilla community today.